I had to come on and just share this because this is something I hear all the time is women are what they're doing is their life is complicated. They have a lot going on. So it keeps them in the relationship hoping that it will just all work itself out so they don't have to do the thing that they know they have to do in order to get out. They know that they'd be happier on the other side and free from all this, but it's complicated. They've got 10 goats, a farm, kids, whatever. Like I've heard all of it, a business entanglement. There's so many different scenarios, and believe me, I get it. I understand the complications and how it can feel really messy. So what happens is that they feel that the benefits of staying outweigh the negatives of leaving. So they decide to stay because they think it's better here to just kind of keep things as status quo and put my head down and just keep forging forward with this as it is because I'm not ready to make that decision. It's much too complicated. So what they do then is they're susceptible to the manipulation because it's what they truly want. They want things to work out and magically be okay. But where they get stuck is when they have a spouse that's suddenly changing and saying, yeah, I want to work on this. But here's the thing that they also say that will point out the fact that they are not aware of what their issues are. They're not aware of their abuse and they're going to continue doing it. And here's what they say. You have things you need to work on too. We both have things we need to work on too. That's how you know, because that again is just another gaslighting attempt to put the focus and shift it onto you as equalized in the problems in the relationship. Remember, in a toxic relationship, while you might be exhibiting toxic behaviors in response to the toxicity, you have a toxic relationship with yourself as well. There is one person that is driving the toxic cycle. You're responding to it and reacting to it, but they are driving it. And so right there, what they are saying when they say that is, I think we both have issues. Sure, I'm not perfect, but you also have issues too. That is not a man that's taking accountability for his behavior and his treatment of you. He doesn't even think that he's doing anything wrong. He thinks that your reactions to what he's doing are the problem. Usually that's the case, right? And so that's how you can know for sure that his bids to promise change or go to therapy or do better, he's not saying, I recognize that I have definitely got some things to work on, and if you can give me some time, here's the things I'm going to be doing, XYZ, and whatever it is that you need to do in the meantime, I understand. I'm going to focus on this on my own without your involvement, without your help. You know, maybe they wouldn't say it that way, but that's really what you'd want to be hearing from someone that's taking actual accountability. And also they're backing it with actions. They're not trying to bring you in as part of what they need to improve themselves. Okay, this has to be taken on their own. Think about it. Do you want to be their rehab support person for the rest of your life? Because that's what you're signing on for. Even if they decide they'll go to therapy. And many women in these decades-long relationships are in and out of therapy so many times with these men. But nothing ever changes. It just gets worse. Nothing doesn't stay the same. It gets worse, right? Things don't stay the same. They either go worse going in the momentum of the negative, or they'll go in the momentum of improving. But in these relationships, that's not what happens. It's all downhill with little moments of some kind of good here and there. So I wanted to just point this out, that someone that's really taking accountability, they're not saying, oh, but you have things to work on too. This is just a bigger gaslighting bomb with all those covert micro gaslighting of, I don't have a problem, you are also the problem. And sure, I'll look at my stuff, but you're not perfect either. And instead of having remorse, you don't see remorse. You don't see a concerted effort to work on themselves. They're not interested. And you forcing that isn't going to change anything. And yes, we all have to get there on our own accord. We all have to have that that final straw, that final threshold crossing moment of no return. And if you're thinking, I know I would be happier on the other side. I know I would be happier getting out of this situation. Even I know I'd be able to function better and handle everything that I have going on better without being in these cycles. That is your intuition telling you where it is that you need to go. But where you're living is out of alignment with that. When you're out of alignment with that, you start getting physical health issues. Things all just start going wrong. They continue to downward spiral. And when you know that something is holding you back, especially when it's toxic cycles, it's abuse, it's violence, emotional violence, mental violence, control, manipulation, lying, alcoholism, addictions, porn. I mean, it's all there. There's different variations. But when you're in something like that, that that's not where you're supposed to be, and when when you really do know that, not where, I get that this, this isn't good, but when you really do actually know this, I'm meant for so much more than this. This is, what am I doing settling for this crap? And realizing and knowing that it is going to be hard at first, but it will be easier once you get out the other side, and everything else that you're dealing with now will begin to ease because you're no longer dealing with that every single day, multiple times a day, the conflicts and all of that. So if you have someone if he is trying to equalize the problems as if you are part of the problem, and I'm here to say this, I say this to women privately. You do not need to be saying, I know I have things to work on. I know I have a part in this. I know my stuff. Here's my stuff. Here's what I'm going to change. You keep that to yourself. You keep what you're working on to yourself. You do not equalize the issues by bringing him in as though you are equally to blame. That's the biggest mistake that you can make in this whole thing. I promise you. So do your work behind the scenes on yourself, individually. And if you're wanting to give it time, then witness. What is he doing? And is he using those phrases of equalizing with you?